really is squeaky bum time at the foot of the EFL Championship, as Blackpool were the only team in the bottom 7 to come away with all 3 points, and that was against bottom of the table Wigan as well. In terms of the predictions league, well, top scorer for game week 42 was Vindaloo Victory, and Vindaloo Victory came away with 17 points and 2 perfect scores. GKK 474 still leads the way at the top of the leaderboard, currently on 391 points, and in second place Rhino is still there on 388 points. So we move on to game week 43, where we've got another 12 matches to predict, and these games take place on Tuesday the 18th of April and Wednesday the 19th of April. And things kick off at Bloomfield Road, where Blackpool hope to pick up some more points after that victory against Wigan. They take on West Brom, who themselves came away with a very fine 2-1 victory against Stoke in game week 42. In this one though, I think Blackpool will be buoyed with that victory, full of confidence. However, they're going to come up against a resilient West Brom side who've only lost once in their last 7 matches, but I can see this one ending up as 1-1. We then move on to the Den, where Millwall take on Birmingham City. Millwall in the last fixture came away with a very, very good 2-0 home victory against Preston North End, and Birmingham City, it was only the second defeat in the last 7 matches, which was a 2-1 reverse against Sunderland. I think this is going to be straightforward for Millwall, and I'm going to go for another 2-0 victory to the Lions. We then move on to the New York Stadium, where Rotherham United take on Burnley. Now, Rotherham comprehensively defeated 2-0 at home against Luton Town in the last game round, and Burnley were held to an away 0-0 draw against Reading, who has recently lost their manager Paul Ince. So in this one, I expect Burnley to take all 3 points. Rotherham didn't have a lot of endeavour going forward against Luton. I think all they had really was a free kick which went slightly wide. So I think Burnley are going to come away with a 3-0 away victory. We then move on to Bramall Lane. Well, Sheffield United will hope to take another 3 points against Bristol City. Bristol City losing their last match against Watford 2-0. Sheffield United, okay, they found things a little bit tough against Cardiff City in their last game week, where they actually fell behind 1-0 early on in that match, but came through 4-1 victors in the end, which slightly flattered them in the end. Bristol City though, tough going away to Sheffield United. They haven't really got a lot to play for, and I think Sheffield United will come away with a 2-0 home win. We then move on to the Stadium Light there in the northeast of England, where Sunderland take on Huddersfield. Huddersfield losing 1-0 away against Swansea in their last fixture, and Sunderland back-to-back wins now with a fine victory against Birmingham in their last match, and prior to that it was a 1-0 away victory to Cardiff City. I think in this one it's going to be a very, very tight match. However, I do see the points being shared in this game with a 1-1 scoreline. Next up, also on Tuesday, we've got Stoke City coming up against Wigan Athletic. Wigan now 3 defeats on the bounce. They look like they're going to be playing their trade in Division 1 next season. And Stoke City only 1 win in their last 6 matches. With prior to that, they really turned their fortunes around for the season. A defeat in their last fixture against West Brom. I think they will return to winning ways in this game against Wigan. I think they'll find it tough, but I do see them coming away with all 3 points in a 2-1 home win. We then move on to the Wednesday fixtures, where Blackburn Rovers take on Coventry City. Coventry City, a very good win against QPR away from home, where they won 3-0, and Blackburn Rovers now back-to-back draws with a 0-0 scoreline in their last match against Hull City. I think they'll follow up that draw with another draw here against Coventry, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. We then move on to the Riverside Stadium, where Middlesbrough take on Hull City. Middlesbrough getting back to winning ways on Friday evening with a fine 5-1 thumping of Norwich in that last fixture, and Hull City now 5 draws in their last 7 matches. But I think Middlesbrough, after that morale boosting 5-1 victory against Norwich. I think they'll come away with all 3 points in this game, where they'll beat the Tigers 2-0. We then move on to Loftus Road, where Queen's Park Rangers taking on Norwich. Norwich only one win in their last 7, and also QPR one win in the last 7, but they've lost 5 of those fixtures in that run as well. I expect Norwich to come away with all 3 points in this one at Loftus Road, and I can see the Canaries winning this one 2-1. We then move on to South Wales at the Swansea.com Stadium, where Swansea take on Preston North End. Both of these clubs still have ambitions of reaching the playoffs. Preston have got a little bit more of a better chance, but Swansea do have the slight possibility of gaining entry into those playoffs as well. However, in this one, I think they'll cancel each other out, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. We then move on to Vicarage Road, where Watford came away with a fine 2-0 victory against the Robins of Bristol City in their last match. And Cardiff City, back-to-back defeats now, getting thumped, you could say, 4-1 against the Blades of Sheffield United, although taking the lead in that match, and at 2-1 down, Connor Wickham did hit the crossbar, and it could have ended up 2-2 there, but ultimately their defence let them down yet again, and they came away with a heavy defeat in the end. Watford, though, 2 wins in their last 7 matches. Another tight one this one, but I fancy the Bluebirds quite resolute, really, if they can cut out those defensive errors, and I can see this one ending up in a 1-1 draw. And the final fixture of game week 43 sees Reading take on Luton Town. Luton Town currently on 74 points and in 3rd place in the division, and Reading can't buy a win at the moment. A draw with Burnley in their last fixture was a very good result, but I think Luton Town will come away with all 3 points and take a 2-0 win. So that concludes my predictions for game week 43 of the EFL Championship. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Super Brew website. Things are really hotting up now at the business end of the season, both at the top of the table and at the foot of the table as well. Thanks for joining me once again in this predictions video, and I'll see you all in the next video.